Ladies and gentlemen, what do we say about our parliamentarians? Yesterday, faced with a common danger, we saw them close ranks in the Lok Sabha and tackle the intruders, even beat him up. These were unprecedented scenes that we saw yesterday, scenes that will go down India's parliamentary history. 24 hours later, though, our netas are back to bickering. And again, what we saw today in terms was bickering was unprecedented. There was major ruckus in both houses of parliament. There were 14 MPs in all who were suspended today, ladies and gentlemen. 14 MPs, all opposition MPs. One refused to leave the house after he was suspended. 13 sat on dharna inside the Lok Sabha. Let's tell you where it all began today. It began in the House of Elders, where the opposition demanded an inquiry into the security breach of parliament yesterday and an investigation into the role of BJP MP Prathapan. The TMC's Derek O'Brien and other opposition MPs were shouting slogans. In the chair was Jagdeep Dhankar, and despite his warnings, Mr. O'Brien stormed into the well of the House, which prompted a very angry response from the chair. Listen in.
Why are you gesticulating? I hereby name Sri Derek O'Brien. Derek O'Brien is hereby named to leave the House immediately. What are you doing? Mr. Derek O'Brien, you have committed breach of privilege. Mr. Derek O'Brien to leave the House immediately. Mr. Derek O'Brien to leave the House immediately. The House is not in order. No. Do you approve of it? He walks up to this place. Mr. Khadge, leader of the opposition, can you imagine a member walking to this place? Shameful event. My head is in shame. Something has to be done. And the member, honorable member, is in the habit of playing hot and cold. He grows soft as a strategy gets into hot mood. Do you approve of it? Do you approve of a member walking here?
Now, sure enough, the House was suspended after that. When it was reconvened, leader of the opposition, leader of the House actually, Piyush Goyal, moved a resolution to suspend Derek O'Brien. It was put to vote by the chair. A ring of boos and tanashahi nahi chalegi followed. And then this is what happened.
I move the following motion that this House, having taken a serious note of the misconduct of Shri Derek O'Brien, member who has entered the well of the House and has been continuously shouting slogans, gesticulating aggressively at the chair, thereby disrupting the proceedings of the House in utter disregard to the authority of the chair, and having been named by the chair, resolves that the above-mentioned member, that is Shri Derek O'Brien, be suspended from the service of the Council for the remainder of this session under Rule 256.
The question is that this House, having taken a serious note of the ignoble misconduct of Sri Derek O'Brien, member who has entered the well of the House, as also the inner well, and has been continuously shouting slogans, gesticulating aggressively at the chair, thereby disrupting proceedings of the House in utter disregard to the authority of the chair, and having been named by the chair, resolves that the above-mentioned member, Sri Derek O'Brien, be suspended from the service of the Council for the remainder of the session under Rule 256.
Now, that was just the beginning of the suspension saga in Parliament. By the time it ended, there were 14 MPs, 1 in the Rajya Sabha and 13 in the Lok Sabha, who had been suspended. Meanwhile, take a look at what happens in the Rajya Sabha. It convenes once again at noon, but a suspended Derek O'Brien remains defiant. He refuses to leave the House. Now, this again prompted a strong response from Mr. Dhankar, who called it gross misconduct.
proceedings of the House are severely handicapped by presence of a member who, in pursuance to the resolution of the House, directly of the chair, was suspended. His continued presence in the House is a severe disregard of the rules, disregard of the resolution of the House. It is unfortunate that defiance continues, constituting a serious breach.
Now, the action soon shifted to the Lok Sabha. In two separate incidents, a total of 13 opposition MPs, including 9 from the Congress party, were suspended for misbehavior. They were, again, like Derek O'Brien, demanding a probe against BJP MP Prathapan. Remember, it was Mr. Simha's name that was on the visiting card which the intruders used to enter Parliament.
Today, Derek O'Brien is removed for the only purpose of raising the issue in the House. It's quite unfortunate, and this is the double standards of the BJP and the ruling party, where proper inquiry didn't happen in the issue. Derek O'Brien was removed, which is quite unfortunate. This is the double standards which we are trying to raise, and our demand remains the same, that the particular BJP MP should be suspended.
Back in the Lok Sabha, the suspension did not deter the MPs. What they did is, they sat in the Lok Sabha holding placards in the House even after it was adjourned for the day. So those pictures that came into us courtesy Manickam Tagore. We'll be speaking to him in just a bit. A suspended Derek O'Brien, meanwhile, led the opposition's symbolic protest outside Parliament. He held placards, he didn't give a soundbite. All he did was hold a placard, which is on your screens, that said, Mon Vrat. Now, just to give you some context, 21 opposition MPs have been suspended in 2023, including 15 this session. And to think that just about 24 hours ago, India's Parliament had seen the biggest security breach in 22 years. Let me go across to our guests who are joining us this evening. Manickam Tagore is an MP from the Congress party, currently stands suspended. Good evening to you, Mr. Tagore. Asif Bhamla is spokesperson of the BJP, joining us on the broadcast. Tausifur Rahman, spokesperson of the TMC, joining us. And JVC Sriram is a political commentator with us on the broadcast as well. For obvious reasons, Mr. Tagore, I'm going to come to you first. Good evening. Can I ask you how you respond to what the chair of the House today said about you and your fellow MPs who were protesting, some in the well of the House, that this was gross indiscipline that simply cannot be tolerated, which is why the MPs were suspended, opposition MPs were suspended. This had nothing to do with the demands they were making as far as the inquiry into what happened yesterday is concerned.
Yeah, thank you. First is that yesterday inside the Parliament, that also in Lok Sabha, there was a security breach, and there were 2 people entered, and with the help of the BJP MPs passes. And what we were asking? We were asking the Home Minister, Mr. Amit Shah, from yesterday till today, to make a statement in the Parliament of India. What is wrong in it? We are demanding the Home Minister, who controls the Delhi police and the intelligence input, to make a statement in the Parliament. If that demand, through an adjournment motion in the morning, we had submitted to the Secretariat, and we were demanding that there should be an adjournment motion. An adjournment motion should be accepted, and we should have a statement of the Honorable Home Minister, Mr. Amit Shah. But Amit Shah was not there in the House. Instead, the Defence Minister stands up and gives a lecture that passes how the MPs has to be careful in giving visitors passes. Before 1 week, a MP who was using the password, given a password to the other person, was removed from the Parliament. She lost her membership. And now another BJP MP has given the passes to the intruders into the Parliament. We were asking for a statement, And Defense Minister was not giving a statement. Defense Minister was speaking about the passer story. And they just wanted to pass on with it. Pass on with it as it is nothing extraordinary has happened. Parliament, inside the Parliament, if that would have been a cyanide gas inside the Parliament, what would have happened to the Parliament members there? How non-serious we had become. Home Minister is hiding. Home Minister is not coming to the Parliament. He is not answering to the people of India. And we are demanding that. For that, we have been suspended. And Prahlad Joshi ji is not tired about moving resolution after resolution, suspending 14 members now. The greatest joke is this Parthiban, the MP whom they had made it as DMK MP, whom they had suspended, is still in Chennai. He has not come to Chennai, Delhi till of now, from yesterday. But they are suspended today.
Okay. But Mr. Tagore, here's the point. No, I get that. And the government has said, and the Parliament Secretariat has said, look, we made a mistake and we are revoking the suspension of the DMK MP that you're speaking about. So they're saying this was a mistake. But I understand the point you're making. Mr. Manickam Tagore, are you ready to accept the point that the BJP, on the other hand, is making? They're saying it's been barely what? It's been barely 34 hours to what happened in Parliament yesterday. How can the Home Minister or the Prime Minister of the country come to the floor of the House and speak without they have the full details? Let the questioning get over. The mastermind, the conspirator, the main man behind what happened yesterday is still missing. He has still not been apprehended. Let us catch him. Let us question everyone. Let us have facts on our hands. That's when the Home Minister and the Prime Minister will come and make a statement. How can they come and make a statement based on facts which cannot be verified at this point of time? The demand that the opposition is making is simply unreasonable. Drama karna chahte hain aur kuch nahi.
This is very sad part to hear from them, and they are not Maharajas. They are elected by the people, and they have to come to the people's house. They have to be answerable to the people, and inside the house when the Parliament is attracted. Earlier time also, whenever Mr. Advani was not giving any statement in the Parliament, where we are speaking, what we are speaking, why they are speaking like this, like Maharajas of Gujarat here. They should understand that people of India are the masters here, and they should come to the Parliament and answer. And they have to be answerable to the people. They can't just hide it. BJP MP is responsible for the passes. He has facilitated the passes inside those people. And the Home Ministry is not ready to make a statement. And for past 2 days, Home Ministry is hiding. Initial statement they should come and give. That is Parliament. Whenever it has happened, wherever it has happened, it may be 9/11, wherever it has happened, whenever Parliament session was there, there would be a statement from the Honorable Minister. That is the practice. That is Parliament. You can't just be the Maharaja of Gujarat and run the parliamentary democracy.
Okay, Asif Bhamla, respond to that. Respond to that. For the last 2 days, the Home Minister has been hiding. This is the biggest breach that India's Parliament has seen. This is not a big breach. This is the biggest, actually, security breach India's Parliament has seen in its history. Because remember, 22 years ago, the terrorists had not managed to infiltrate inside Parliament. This time they have. The day after it happens, the Home Minister doesn't show up in Parliament. The Prime Minister is not there either. Is the BJP trying to underplay this? Somehow brush it under the carpet?
This is. Let me rebut. This is a very serious issue with respect to the Parliament, which is जिसे हम सब एक लोकतंत्र का मंदिर मानते हैं, उसको लेकर एक बहुत. This is a very serious issue, and nobody is hiding and nobody is running away. Let me firstly endorse that. Number one, in the 25 years back, also when there was a terrorist attack, when there were pistol and draggers, you see, in the Parliament, then also the Home Minister did not come. At the end, it's the Speaker who's the custodian of the House. He tries to control the situation because this is an issue where the ruling party MPs, the opposition MPs, anybody, this incident could have been a greater conspiracy. Any tune could have happened. तो ये हमारा विषय केवल नहीं, ये सबका विषय. इसके लिए ऑपोजिशन ने थोड़ा सा और संयम बरतने की जरूरत है, क्योंकि ये हमें इसका बखेड़ा बनाकर, इसको एक टूल किट बनाकर पूरे विश्व में हमारे देश की कमियां या कमजोरियां हमें दर्शाना नहीं है. Whatever has happened is not in good light. Again, whatever action has to be taken as government in place and position, it has done. It has obviously given a 15 days custody, remand, special cell within has been created, interrogations of 4 criminals, which obviously come from 4 different states. And you see, I want to just ask one thing to my fellow panelists here, that your own MPs, which you call your Indie MP, says क्योंकि बेरोजगारी इतनी बढ़ गई है देश में, क्योंकि देश में लोगों को काम नहीं है, तो ये हरकत होना तो लाजिम है. अरे तो क्या पार्लियामेंट को अटैक करोगे और आप उसको डिफेंड कर रहे हो? आप क्या कहना चाह रहे हो? किस पक्ष में हो? आप किसके हक में हो और किसके खिलाफ हो? क्या आप इस देश के खिलाफ हो क्या? देखिए, what I would like to say is that systems will be certainly reviewed after this. Let me complete. Give me 30 seconds. Systems will be reviewed. Responsibilities also will be fixed. Heads will definitely roll for sure. But beyond that,
Mr. Bhamla,
incident is also...
We've heard you. I think you're making two... Okay. You're making... No, give me a minute here. Sun lijiye na. Ab thoda, you have a glass of water. Have a glass of water. There are 2 big points you're making.
And don't dampen the leadership of the country, please.
Don't show the nation in poor light. The opposition is showing the nation in poor light. 1 minute. The opposition, by raising legitimate questions, is showing the country in poor light. Mr. Bhamla, what are you saying? What is this whole business about a toolkit? What is this whole business about a toolkit which is playing into the hands of foreign powers? आप बोल भी कह रहे हैं, आप एक बात समझिए. What the questions that opposition MPs were raising were valid questions.
I will answer you.
And they will be raised in Parliament. But Mr. Tagore, 1 minute. Bas Mr. Tagore, 1 minute. Mr. Bhamla has a point. Mr. Bhamla has a point. Mr. Bhamla, wait a minute. Mr. Bhamla has a point, Mr. Tagore. The chair today told all of you protesting MPs, ask us questions. You want your questions answered, ask us those questions. It is the Lok Sabha Secretariat that is responsible for the security of the Lok Sabha. We are the ones responsible, not the Home Minister, not the Prime Minister. We will answer your questions. Why insist on the Home Minister coming and speaking on the floor of the House?
It's very sad that to protect the failure of the Home Minister, the Lok Sabha Secretariat is jumping in between. It is the intelligence failure of the Home Ministry. It is the failure of Mr. Amit Shah. He is responsible for it. The BJP MP has given the passes to those intruders. And this is a greater conspiracy. And this is a very dangerous precedent. And Lok Sabha Secretariat should not jump into it to protect the failed Home Minister of India. We have to be very clear that it will not take me 30 seconds to question the Lok Sabha Secretariat. But to come and give a safe passage for a failed Home Minister like Amit Shah is dangerous for this country. We respect the Lok Sabha Speaker, but it can't be the thing that when the Parliament, when we ask the Treasury benches, Speaker has to be neutral. He can't be to party to the Treasury benches. He has to be a neutral person. We all have high regard for the Honorable Speaker, but he can't give us, he should not come in between us. Because we are attacking the Home Minister, we are asking for his answers. We are asking for his statements. He should facilitate it instead of it. It's very bad precedent. Never Lok Sabha Secretariat has come in between to protect a failed Home Minister. There were...
Asif Bhamla, how is it okay? How is it okay for the Home Minister of the country, a day after its Parliament sees the biggest breach in its history, not show up in Parliament and instead show up on a television channel's conclave? He has time to give an interview. He doesn't have time to come and address fellow MPs. Just say this much. I don't have the full details. But we are looking into the matter. An investigation is underway. We have questioned Pratap Simha as well. Mr. Bhamla, galat hota hai.
I have mentioned earlier and I'm repeating the custodian of the house is the speaker. That doesn't mean that the HM, the home minister, is going to run away. In the past, there have been similar attacks when Narsingh Rao ji and Manmohan Singh ji also were prime ministers. But that doesn't mean that the home minister is going to run away. This is some situation which has a larger ramifications with regards to the security perceptions, not only at your national level, but also globally. So, as a responsible home minister, unlike few in the past, he has to ensure that he comes with a foolproof answer when he comes in the parliament, because parliament, you see, going to a conclave is not something which is a minuted affair. This is a responsible place, and he's at it. There's a team that's working at it. There is investigation और जल्द से जल्द दूध का दूध पानी का पानी होगा, सत्य सामने आएगा. और तो छोड़ दीजिए, आज आपने देखा संसद के बाहर इन्हीं के सांसद लोगों ने, विरोधियों के सांसदों ने इनको जस्टिफाई किया, इनकी हमदर्दी जताई कि आज भगत सिंह की याद आ गई. अरे आप जो हमलावरों को आप एक तो विरोध करते हो, आप कहते हो कि ये बराबर नहीं है, आप दूसरी तरफ गृह मंत्री के ऊपर इल्जाम लगाते हो कि आप रिजाइन करिए. ऐसा लग रहा है कि जैसे दिस होल कॉन्स्पिरेसी वाज प्लान्ड बाय द ऑनरेबल होम मिनिस्टर when he's himself in power and in the government. So these are what is
Mr. Bhamla.
Resonating. You are saying you are supporting the people. I mean, people like Neelam and Lalit Shah are being rescued by member of parliaments of the Congress outside the parliament.
I think that charge is
outside the parliament house. Is that not shameful? What are you projecting to the world? And what are you exhibiting to the world? You may have your own differences. It is a question. Today we are in power. Tomorrow it could be somebody else. Parliament is always a parliament, and we have to ensure that we are all on the same platform.
Asif or Rahman, would you want to come in here? Mr. Bhamla, Mr. Bhamla, wait now. Let the TMC also come in. Asif or Rahman, I think you know. एक minute, Mr. Bhamla. Okay, I've heard you. Asif or Rahman, I think you know. I think you, amongst all, knows the context of what Mr. Bhamla is saying. Essentially, Amit Malviya has put out a tweet saying that all these people were somehow linked to the TMC and the Congress party. I'm not putting that tweet out because it is not verified, but anyhow, that's the context. The context is, forget condemning the 4 people who intruded inside Parliament. Parliamentarians are busy saying, अरे ये तो unemployed लोग हैं, अरे ये तो भगत सिंह की याद दिला रहे हैं हमको. What will the unemployed youth of this country do if it doesn't have a choice but to come and intrude into Parliament? Essentially saying that you are supporting the intruders and you're putting the government of the day in the dock, which is unfair.
I mean, my elder brother Asif Bhamla, actually what he said, I didn't understand, because there was too much questions, there was too much khichdi, and he was not actually into the proportion of the context what we are talking about. Shreya, it's irony of life. It's been 34 hours now, and instead of Pratap Singh, the opposition got sanctioned. They got suspended. Why? Because they were talking about the country. They were talking about the security lapse. They were talking about the security of the country, where not only BJP, Congress, TMC, or any other political party inside the parliament was there. Someone attacked the parliament, and those people are MPs, whether they are from BJP, TMC, or whatsoever. They are the representative of the people. They have been chosen when they were inside the parliament. It's a very serious offense, Shreya, and I'm not giving you any lecture, but I don't understand why the TMC, Derek O'Brien, got suspended. He was not doing any drama. He was not creating any ruckus. He was not celebrating Christmas inside. He was just asking something which was very legitimate. Okay, I understand. Amit Shah ji is very busy. Modi ji is very busy. I understand. But if he can go to the conclave, he should have given a reaction. Whatever happened yesterday, isn't it? We just wanted a reaction. I understand it will take a week or so. The whole thing will come out. The whole narrative will be set. But India wanted a reaction from whom? Not from Wayanad. Rahul Gandhi from Wayanad, he cannot give a reaction. Mamata Banerjee from Bengal, she will not give a reaction. We are totally dependent on Amit Shah, because the people of India, 150 crore people, have chosen Amit Shah, Narendra Modi. You can't segregate your responsibilities. That bhaiya dekho, parliament mein maut hogi na, secretariat parliament samjhega. No. When you want आप जब वोट के लिए जाते हैं, when you ask for the vote, you never segregate your responsibilities. You don't say something happens inside the airport, it is not our duty. It is your duty. If you raise question in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, you won't get answers. Why? Because we are from TMC. So Mahua Moitra will be suspended, Derek O'Brien will be suspended. Why? Because we are from TMC, we are from opposition. But who gave the access? Pratap, who gave the access? If in a disciplinary manner, if these 14 members can get suspension, why not Pratap can get immediate suspension? Inquiry होते रहेगी ना, बाद में उनकी suspension खारिज कर दो आप. But फिलहाल तो suspend करो. Why not?
नहीं तो
Where are we wrong?
I have a counter question. No, I'll and let me put that to someone who's an MP who's been suspended. You know, I understand, Mr. Tagore, you have to leave, so I'll quickly ask this question to you and say goodbye to you on the show. Fact is that all of you are going after Pratap Simha. ठीक है, गलती तो है ही. There is no one is saying कि गलती नहीं है. But the fact is that all of you as MPs have this privilege of signing on to visitors' passes, of letting people from your constituency, people you know, people you don't know, come and visit India's parliament. Mr. Simha, एक minute. Mr. Manickam Tagore, similarly, Mr. Pratap Simha signed on to the visitors' pass. This was someone from his constituency. उन्होंने गुनाह क्या किया? I mean, how on earth can an MP do a background check of the person who is going to be coming into parliament? Someone asked him for a pass, someone he knows asked him for a visitor's pass. He signed on to it knowing the person. He didn't know that this person is going to do what he did. This was the job of the three-layered security within parliament. So it is the failure of parliament security. Why blame the MP?
The main thing is that when the MP gives the password for his PA to upload a question, her membership went because national security came into picture. When this MP, BJP MP, does is give pass to intruders, to who is going to throw bombs inside it. If that, it would have been not a gas, gas bomb, it would have been a cyanide bomb. What would have happened? You would have told thing that because they had come to kill the Prime Minister, they had come to murder the Home Minister, they had come to eliminate the Indian democracy, all the MPs they wanted to kill, that hue and cry the media would have taken. Why take this kind of light weights? MP, whomever MP, if I am MP, when 10 years I had been MP, whomever is a visitor, I know that who is recommending whom. I will not sign a paper without knowing that person. We are responsible people. We are elected people. We have to be responsible. We can't be just, you will sign it any paper with these things. This is the lie part of the BJP. They are just trying to lie. They are just trying to misguide the world.
Okay.
MPs have to be responsible. Member of Parliament we are responsible people. We can't be like that. When you sign a letter, the letter is a...
Okay.
You can't say that I have just signed a letter. Somebody asked me, how you can give it? You are responsible. The MP who facilitated the entry of the intruders should be punished. And Home Minister must come to Parliament and answer.
Okay. Mr. Manickam Tagore, thank you for your time. I'm just going to request all our other guests to stay with us. Mr. Tagore, thank you.
Thank you.
JV Sriram, not one suspension, not two suspensions, not three suspensions. 14 suspensions in a day, the day after India's parliament is seeing its biggest security breach. The entire country is watching. What is the entire country thinking? The entire country is looking at Mr. Simha, who's just barely been questioned, not even been summoned by his party, and 14 opposition MPs who've been suspended.
What has the 14 MPs have been doing? They've been trying to politicize the whole thing. What have they been doing for the last 9.5 years? It's 9.5 years. And have they cooperated with the government? There is a national security issue. Yes, the said parliamentarian, Mr. Pratap Simha, must be investigated. But for that, the people who had intruded into the parliament, investigation is going on. When the investigation is going on, what does these opposition MPs do? Derek O'Brien comes to the well of the House. These parliamentarians in the Lok Sabha raise the voice. How can the Home Minister come when the investigation is going on? They just want to politicize the issue. I asked the Congress party, did Neelam Asad, who was one of the intruders, she asked vote for the Congress party. I go on record now. I go on record and I say, Neelam Jha, that person, had asked for the votes for the Congress party. And the Congress person, media in charge, has said in a national television channel, what is wrong with that? Now, you wait for some time. The toolkit, what they have planned, will come out. The investigation is on. We believe that the investigation agencies in India are strong enough or robust. They have the method, the modus operandi to bring the truth out. When the truth comes out, because these opposition parties, on December 3rd, they had the meltdown. They're ready to get out of the meltdown. From December 4th, the parliament started. They've been wanting one issue after another, and now they've got it. Every time the parliament meets, Shweta, every time, Pegasus issue, non-issue made into an issue, but this is an issue. In this issue, they must have acted with maturity. They must have acted with sanctity. Mr. Manickam Tagore talks about all those things. What the hell he has been doing? He's a disruptor to the core for the last 5 years, since 2019. Since 2019, time and again he has been a disruptor. They make noises, they raise placards, they stand up on the table, and this is the behavior they've been displaying. And you expect the Honorable Speaker, Honorable Vice President and Rajya Sabha Chairman to keep quiet and watching all these things? Absolutely no. They know pretty well that inside the parliament, they want to create a ruckus for the defeat that they're repeatedly facing in the people's court, which is the democratic court of the election. 3 out of the 4 elections lost, and that is a reflection now.
Mr. Sriram, I would have loved to have either Asif or Mr. Manickam Tagore respond to you, because these are charges you're directly making against them and their parties. Unfortunately, Mr. Tagore had to leave and so had Asif. So we'll just leave it there. So you are directly blaming the Congress party, essentially, like the social media in charge of the BJP, of being behind the parliament intrusion that we saw yesterday. That's an interesting take to take, given the fact that even the government is... And the Congress will respond to you, I'm sure, hopefully tomorrow, if not today. But we'll leave it there for the moment, Mr. Sriram. Thank you very much for joining us on the broadcast. I'm going to thank Asif Bhamla for staying with us as well. Thank you. Thank you for being with us. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, let me assure you that the debate is not ending anytime soon. It will continue through this evening, tomorrow as well. For the moment, Kanimoy, who's a DMK MP, one of the leaders, 13 leaders who was suspended in the Lok Sabha, she is joining us for a quick chat as well. Kanimoy, I believe this is your first suspension as an MP. How do you react to it?
I mean, being suspended means that you're not part of the parliamentary, proceedings. It's not a great feeling, because you are not protesting, for something trivial. It is a serious breach of security, and we want the government to be accountable for that. So that is why we protested, and this is how the BJP government behaves when somebody asks them questions. And this is the democracy they understand, and they have suspended people who they think that they can silence the opposition by suspending 15 MPs. But I'm sure the protest will continue.
Can I just ask you, the Lok Sabha TV shows us one part of the visual. We as viewers don't know exactly what is happening, because the cameras are at a distance as well. Can you tell us what exactly happened that led to the speaker suspending 13 of you?
See, we all saw what happened in Parliament yesterday. And the government wants to behave like, it is actually nothing, and it's part of everyday life, and they wanted to continue with the daily functioning of Parliament and have discussions. We wanted a statement or a discussion where the Home Minister or the Prime Minister would come to Parliament and explain and reply to our questions. which they refused, and they wanted to continue with the debates on bills. And we protested and said, they have to come to Parliament. And the MP who has actually signed the passes for these two people to come into Parliament is in Parliament
Okay.
today. But people who protested to find out what happened and ask the government to be accountable, we have been suspended. So when we were protesting, we of course went into the well, and some of us were holding placards, and that is why we've been suspended.
The speaker says you were asking for the suspension. He's saying that the behavior of MPs on the floor of the House was highly dignified. In fact, it lowered the dignity of the House. So if you are misbehaving, you are not letting the House proceed, what option did he have?
No, I think I've been in Parliament long enough. I have also seen days when the BJP was in opposition, and they've protested. They've held placards. They've come to the well and protested. They've torn papers and thrown it at the speaker. And so it's not like something. I mean, I'm not saying throwing things at the speaker or behaving unruly is right, but coming to the well and protesting and trying to get the attention of the speaker is the norm. I mean, it's happened. In Parliament, for many years. And, this is the way people have protested in Parliament. And when you're not heard, the only way to get your attention is to come into the well, and they don't want to look at us or respond to what we're saying. Sometimes we hold placards. I don't think this is unruly behavior in a democracy.
Okay. Ma'am, thank you very much for joining us. That was DMK MP Kanimori joining us on the broadcast. Thank you very much. Suspended for the rest of the winter session. Thank you, ma'am. On that note, I'm slipping into a very quick break on the show, ladies and gentlemen. Up next, a debate that deeply divides working class India. It's coming up next. Do stay with us.